I forgot the paper. My Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Cleveland Browns this week, and I don't like it when we play Cleveland. I feel like the Steelers always have more to lose than Cleveland, and that frustrates me. It's almost like when you're in like a losing battle. That's how I feel like when the Steelers play the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers historically have a better organization than the Cleveland Browns. That just kind of is what it is. And it feels like every time we play them, we're either like on a win streak or something has happened with us and we're looking good and everything's looking great, and then we have to play Cleveland. I don't like it when we play the Cleveland Browns. If I'm honest with you, I still remember the snow game last year when we lost to Cleveland in Cleveland, and that game disgusted me. So I never like when we play Cleveland. It's always feels like it's at the wrong time. But anyways, we're playing the Cleveland Browns this week. The good news is they're headed to Pittsburgh. The even better news is Pittsburgh is coming off of a bye week. Maybe the even better thing is that the Browns are coming off of being in London, playing the Minnesota Vikings, and you know what? At this point, it's just the NFL. What can you do with it at this point? We know the Cleveland Browns, they're in our division. We have to play them 2 times a year. There's nothing I can tell you about the Browns that if you're watching this video, you probably don't already know. Historically, the Browns are a little bit of a mess. Historically, the Browns have a really great defense and that offense is struggling. There's not really much that I can tell you that's brand new. I will say, though, it will be cool that if the Steelers win this game or are doing so well in this game, that Shedeur Sanders comes off the bench and plays. That will be exciting to see. If that does happen, though, Shedeur better not bring this team back and have them win this game. But at the end of the day, let me just tell you some things I know about the Browns. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and don't forget to turn on those notification bells so you don't miss any new videos when they release. And if you feel like it, leave me a comment in the comment section below, because we all know by now I love engaging in the comment section below. So things that I know about the Browns, first and foremost, obviously, that defense. They obviously have Myles Garrett and company. The defense is historically a very solid defense. They will get pressure on the quarterback, and they have the ability to make the game ugly. Sound familiar? That is how my Steelers play. And the truth of the matter is this is the AFC North. And so that is what happens with AFC North football. It's gross, it's a little ugly, it's a little bit all over the place, and that's just what it is. The Browns so far this year have not scored more than 20 points. Their offense is struggling. Obviously, they started the season with Joe Flacco. He is now gone. Now they have Dillon Gabriel. This is going to be his second game to start, so we'll just see what happens. They haven't been throwing the ball down the field a lot. They're not doing well on converting on third downs, so that has been an interesting thing, and so that is something that I'm just going to pay attention to, because I hope that none of that changes against my Steelers. The other thing when it's concerning the Browns as well, they are losing the turnover battle of the season. And so yes, Dillon Gabriel didn't necessarily turn the ball over, but historically they have been turning the ball over. So I'm going to be paying attention to, can the Steelers get turnovers? Because we all know the Steelers are a better team when they're able to get turnovers. I mean, let's be real, who really isn't? But I'm going to see, can the Steelers get turnovers in this game, and how do they make the Browns offense look? Because the Steelers defense has some work to do as well. The other thing about the Browns is they are going to continue to run the ball. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but they're not going to get away from it. That is one thing I know that they are going to try to do consistently. So that means the Pittsburgh Steelers defense better be ready to stop the run, because if the Steelers can stop the run, that is going to nullify every single thing that the Browns want to do, and I am going to love to see that. Some keys to this game for me are very simple. The Steelers offense has to be able to score points, because if the Steelers offense can score points, we are going to put the Cleveland Browns in a little bit of a bind, because they are not accustomed to scoring points yet this year. And so I need the Steelers to put points on the board. I think that's going to be a very important key to this game. Another key to this game is going to be the Cleveland Browns offense against the Steelers defense. I said before, the Cleveland Browns want to run the football. That is what they do. And so if they are able to establish the run, it's going to open up so many different things. So I need this rested Pittsburgh Steelers team to be able to stop the run against the Cleveland Browns. That is the second thing I'm going to be worried about. The third key to this game is going to be obvious. Can this offensive line give Aaron Rodgers some time? Because he's going to need some time to do what he needs to do in the pocket. We already know about this Cleveland Browns defensive line. I don't even have to talk about it, but the Steelers offensive line, this is their opportunity to show that they are continuing to get better, because week after week after week, we have seen them continue to get better, but we need to see them continuously getting better. The other thing I'm going to be paying attention to is, can the Steelers offensive line win some matchups against the Browns defensive line? That would be fantastic. To me, there's 3 key things this game boils down to. Can the Pittsburgh Steelers score points? That is going to be very important. Can the Steelers stop the run? That is going to also be super important. And then maybe even, I should have probably said this first, is going to be, can the Steelers offensive line hold against this Cleveland Browns defensive line? Because if they can't, this game is going to get really interesting and really ugly. And in a lot of ways, I kind of like ugly football games when it comes to my team, because we usually play very well in ugly football games. The X factor to me is going to be, can the Steelers defense get turnovers? The Steelers getting turnovers is, in essence, what we do. And so getting turnovers is going to be super important to me, because I think that's going to help us with the momentum, and we're going to be at home. The other X factor in this game also might be the kicking game, because Cleveland's kicker struggles and he's up and down. He does all kinds of weird things. And so that also might end up being an X factor to this game. The interesting thing about this is going to be the first time my team is facing a team that Shedeur Sanders is on. Now, I totally understand that Shedeur Sanders is not the starter, but we all know that he is going to be shown on the TV multiple times. We all know how this is going to go. And so I hope the Steelers play a solid enough game and they beat the Browns. And if Shedeur Sanders runs out there, it won't matter, because I will not be cheering for Shedeur Sanders. I can't do it. I will not cheer it for Shedeur against my team, but it will be interesting to see how this goes. I expect the Steelers to make this hard for Dillon Gabriel. I expect the Steelers defense to show up, and I expect Aaron Rodgers to get this offense moving down the field. I really, really also hope this is a game where we start to see our run game continues to build and we continue to get better, because at the end of the day, that is what this is about. I need to see us progressing. The other thing I didn't call out here is something that I'm just thinking about, is penalties. This Browns team will commit penalties. And so I hope the Steelers are ready to go in this game. Mike Tomlin is 13-4 out of the bye week. That tells me that he does a great job preparing his team to play out of bye weeks. And so I need to see it this week. For me, I know a lot of people will see this as one game, and that's fine. It is one game. In the grand scheme of things, this is just one game. But the last time I saw the Steelers play against the Vikings, we looked like a complete team as far as offense, defense, and everything we had going on. I'm very curious to see how this Browns game is going to go, to see if I come down off that high, or to see if I still feel the same way about this team that I felt when I watched them play the Vikings. And so I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this Browns game. And like I said at the very beginning of this video, I don't like when we play the Browns. I just don't like when we play them, because it seems like it's always something. It's always something. It's always harder than it has to be. It is always super complicated. But the good news is we play them in Pittsburgh. And so that should help us. We should have momentum. We're coming off of bye week, all those other things. The other thing is too, and I know I shouldn't be looking ahead, is I'm also curious to see how this game is going to go, because the next game we will play will be on Thursday night. We all know I despise Thursday night football games, and we played the Bengals. And so I need to see how the Steelers team is going to show up with a Browns team that has a second game starter and a rookie quarterback, an offense that is struggling, and a defense that's pretty solid, but we are better than the Browns. There is absolutely no reason why the Steelers team should not beat the Browns at home on Sunday. But hey, stranger things have happened. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in my next video.